All right, let's go. You know, whether real or imagined, the sneaky feeling has always been there that the white man had been meddlesome in African affairs. It's election time again in Nigeria, and the hand of the West is suspected in the pie. President Muhammadu Buhari has again warned foreign diplomats in the country against meddling in the country's politics. The number one citizen gave the warning while receiving letters of credence from the ambassadors of Switzerland, Sweden, the Republic of Ireland, the Kingdom of Thailand, the Republic of Senegal, and that of South Sudan. They came to Nigeria, so the president received them. Now, the president had a full house of listeners, and for sure, the message is sent. Yinka.
Where do we begin?
From the top.
You know, I take all this with some pinch of salt. Let me start with an analogy. You have a couple, whenever they have a disagreement, they have a Baba Saleh. What Yoruba call Baba and Saleh or Baba Ngbejo. They go to him, they tell him their troubles and all that, and down the line, they start accusing the man of meddling in their affairs. Are you not the one who went to him?
Oh, you invited him.
Exactly.
You welcomed him.
Why is the president talking of the West meddling in Nigeria's affair? In 2015, he was in Chatham House. 2022.
On invitation.
Whether invitation or whatever.
Okay.
2022, Atiku has been in Chatham House. Asiwaju has been in Chatham House in 2022.
None of them is a president yet.
2020. But Buhari too was not president when he was there in 2015.
Okay, I defer to you.
So, if I have my information correct, what's his name? The Obi also will be there on 15th of January. So, when you want to discuss problem of Nigeria, you go to Chatham House or you go to London, you go to America, you go and discuss it. And now they want to talk about your election, you say they should not meddle. You are the one that is inviting them to meddle in your affairs. So you don't have any ground to tell us that they should not meddle in our affairs. If you don't want them to meddle in your affairs, solve your problem at home. Don't go to London, don't go to America, don't go to...
Yinka, but neither the US or their United Kingdom will invite any African country to come when they have an election.
That is the reason, that is the same thing I'm saying also. Why do you also... It is because you have not kept your house in order. It's just like the analogy I gave you. If you come to me as Baba Saleh, that I should settle your case, when anything happens, I will have the right or whatever to talk to you. So why do you go to Chatham House or wherever to go and discuss Nigeria's problem, and you are not telling them they should not interfere in your... You are the one inviting them. As Chino Achebe said, you brought the wood that is infested with faggots
to the hut.
Exactly. So you must expect that they will interfere.
Wale, but Yinka is not speaking for you, or is he?
Well, I think he has made a general comment, which I agree with. However, there is in international law, there is a principle of non-interference. You know, the sovereignty of every nation. And I think that is what the president is talking about, that we got independence in 1960. We are an independent sovereign nation. We should be able to run our own affairs without external interference. But in reality, are we really truly independent?
Yeah.
Our economy...
Independent of who?
Yes.
Of who?
Yes.
Of the West?
Of the West.
Oh, really?
We are heavily indebted to the West, running into billions. If you are indebted to somebody, you are owing somebody, in one way or the other, that person still holds the chain on your neck to control you politically, economically, and even spiritually. And that is why when we are talking about post-colonial states, our so-called independence is a farce. When they are holding elections here, the European Union and Norway, they all come here to monitor our election. And we have tolerated this over the years. And after each election, they call a press conference to tell the whole world the election is free, the election is not free. They come out with comments. So the reality is that Nigeria is not actually independent of Western powers. They still have a lot of stronghold on Nigeria. And that is why when we are talking about INEC, they have received a lot of funding from foreign countries, you know, and they have to be accountable to them. So they are not only funded by Nigeria. So there must be some level of transparency. People who gave you money.
These things they have to do with the choices we make.
Yeah. Oh, right. So you cannot decree independence and say, oh, don't interfere in my, no, I'm making a law. No. The reality, the material relations shows that we are still dependent on the West. In fact, the INEC equipment, everything they are using, imported from the West. If today they decide they are not going to give you those equipment, I don't want to do your election. Yeah. So economically and politically, we're still tied to their we are tied to the policy of the West. So when the president is talking about no interference and all that, it's just a rhetoric. In reality, they still interfere and they will continue to interfere in our internal affairs.
Inka, I will defer to you people, but I'm saying at 62 years as a country, a sovereign environment, we are supposed... you cannot confuse me here. We are 62 years old as an independent... We are going 63 now.
Yes.
We should be able to stand on our two legs, don't you think?
Nigeria...
well, to help the discussion,
yes.
Rwanda, by choice, committed suicide in April of 1994. But many years after, they don't need interferences, or do they?
It's because the man who got there at that point, the leader, the Kagame, had his head, still has his head in the right place. You may not like some of the things he's doing because it's not entirely democratic, but you begin to look at it that this is a man who had a vision and he knows where he wants his country to be. In Nigeria today, do we have an agreed vision? There's none. The Southwest had his own vision. The North had his own vision. The West and the East had his own. So we have not been able to have a leader or a president or whatever you want to call it that will galvanize all these different visions together, couple them together, and make it one. It's not, Rwanda is not as if they don't have different ethnic groups. We know what happened between the Hutus and the Tutsis. But today, they've gotten their record, they've gotten their head straight, and everything is going on fine. But here we are, at 62 going to 63. We have any problem? Or we have any discussion, the politicians have any discussion to make, they are going to London. They are going to America. Why, when...
By choice.
When Biden was seeking to be president of the United States,
did he ask you anything?
Did he visit Nigeria to say that he wants to go and tell the world? He will stay there in America and the whole world will link up with America. But we here, you want to speak to Nigerians, you want to speak to the world, you go to America, you go to London, for what?
Inka, let me be cynical.
We will continue to be dictated to until we show ourselves.
I agree, but let me be a little cynical.
Yes.
In 2007, the election that threw up late Musa Yar'Adua was said to be anything but free.
Yes.
What did the West do?
Ask me.
Okay.
Nothing. Even the man that won the election confessed that he is flawed.
All right, Inka and Wale, Festus in Port Harcourt wants to join the talk. Why not? Festus, good evening to you.
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Please, this is Festus calling from Port Harcourt.
Go on, sir.
All right, sir. Sir, the statement of the president is indeed laughable, warning the West not to meddle with Nigeria's politics. In 2016, the same issue of body bags and all that. And after the election, what has happened so far in Nigeria? Here we are talking about 2023 election. The West actually told the president that they want to meddle with the to the general elections of why is it that the president always, I don't know if he feels guilty of what, and he doesn't want anybody to actually know the secret of what's happening in Nigeria.
First, it's important what you say, what you tell us. You know, here we don't opinionate. So, Wale, can you offer a little something in response?
I think the fundamental issue is that you cannot be dependent economically on foreign countries and expect yourself to have political freedom. So the president has raised another fundamental issue about sovereignty of Nigeria as a regional power. And we are saying that, yes, we need to be sovereign, we need to be independent, we need to be, to be free, to win ourselves.
To be allowed
to do things our own way.
Hold on, make mistakes, fall, get up, and so on.
Yes. But then, as long as we continue to go to the West to borrow money, to our economy is dependent on them, our technology is driven by the West, the issue of independence, and that they should not meddle in our affairs will be a very difficult thing, even though as noble as that idea might be. Of course, nobody wants any country to just come and meddle in its own affairs. But we should also realize that the world is more or less becoming a global village. And that's why whatever happens in any particular area, it's like a cobweb. When you put one strength, it will affect the whole network. So whatever happens, look at what happened in Liberia some years back. Nigeria was there to restore democracy. They sent soldiers there. We did the same thing also in Liberia and Sierra Leone.
On request.
So no country, on request. So the truth is that no country is independent. No country is an island. So we need to do things right. If you don't want people to come and meddle in our affairs, we need to guarantee justice. We need to guarantee freedom. We need to have a free and fair election that is going to be a reference point for West Africa and also for the whole world. Once we do that, we are going to earn respect. So I think that is what is very important.
Inka, in taking this thing home, I think Mr. President is trying to tell the West we are old enough to make our mistakes and learn that by them.
Yes.
Right? Thank you.
It's good to say that, but you must act it.
Okay. They say when you pray for peace, you leave the prayer mat and begin to do those things that will bring peace.
Bring peace.